Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Beulah Thomas. In today's video, I thought I'll take a few minutes and share about why we love living here in Wellington, New Zealand. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, welcome to my channel. I hope you take the time to check out my other videos. If you're in the process of moving to New Zealand and that's how you ended up on this video, I hope you check out my other videos as well, because I've shared a few videos on moving to and migrating and living here in New Zealand, and I think they might be helpful to you. Wellington has been home to our family for almost 13 years now, and I remember when we first arrived here, we lived in the heart of the city because I felt that moving from the United States, it might be easier to get to know the country and the culture of this country by living in the heart of the city. The current population of Wellington is around 215,000. Wellington is also known as the coolest little capital in the world, and let me tell you, it definitely is a cool little city here in New Zealand. Here are 5 reasons why I love living in Wellington, New Zealand. The first reason is the people. The people here in New Zealand are definitely friendly, but because we're talking about Wellington, I can tell you from living here for almost 13 years that people are welcoming, they're friendly, they're open to other cultures, they want to know about your food and your country, and are definitely keen to make friendships. So if you are arriving here in Wellington or here in New Zealand, you'll definitely notice the friendliness of people here in the country. Number 2, the size of Wellington City. I relocated from the United States and I just assumed that the size of the city, Wellington City, would be like downtown Chicago or downtown Houston or something like that, like a big city, right? And I just felt that if I lived in the city, it would be easier to go around and get to work and get to know the places. But I was in for a shock. The size of Wellington City is so small when you compare it to other countries, or when you compare to other CBDs or downtowns, in larger countries. And so it was so much easier for me to settle down in this country. We lived in an apartment in the city, and we were in walking distance to our workplace, to the gym, to the supermarket, to shopping in city as well. So if you're living here, you'll definitely love the size of Wellington City. Number 3, the vibe of Wellington City. As I mentioned in the start, Wellington is called as the coolest little capital in the world. And guess what? Like when you arrive here and you settle down and you walk around the city, you will definitely pick that up. Accessibility to the waterfront or different areas within the city is easy. You can walk to places. Of course, you do have public transportation, but if you don't have a car when you first arrive here, you can just walk around or get on the bus and you can get to your destination. During the work week, the city is full of people. I work in the heart of the city and it's so nice to just pop out to grab a coffee. I also work really close to the waterfront, so on my breaks I can just walk out of my office and walk across the road, and there I am just looking out at the waterfront. In the city, you don't just go to work, but you also have a museum. There's art galleries, amazing restaurants and cafes. And on a Thursday night, if you're into nightlife and all of that, there's bars and clubs and all sorts of places open really late as well. If you're visiting Wellington City and you want to do some shopping, check out Cuba Street. There are also many stores all across Lambton Quay, so you'll definitely find some clothing or shoes or makeup or any other little bits and pieces that you're after. Number 4, and I think is the most important, is the cafe culture here in Wellington. The coffee is really amazing overall here in Wellington, but you know what? There are some amazing cafes in Wellington City. If you just Google it up, you will find tons and tons of cafes in the little streets and in the middle of downtown or in the middle of the CBD here in Wellington. So if you are visiting Wellington in the upcoming few months and are after recommendations for cafes or restaurants, pop it down in the comments below and I'll be happy to give you some amazing options that you can go check out. I'm a foodie and I love good coffee, so I definitely will be able to share a few options that you can go check out when you are visiting Wellington, New Zealand. And finally, the scenic view. Every time we've got friends or family visiting us here in Wellington, one of the first things that they will notice as we're driving out of the airport is the scenic beauty of the city. You've got mountains and then you've got water. Everything is so close to each other. You don't have to travel a distance. So let's say, for example, during my lunch break, I can just walk out of my workplace, cross the road, and right there is the waterfront, and there are beautiful mountains just surrounding it. It's quite common during the work week that the waterfront is really busy, especially when the sun is out. People tend to take their lunches out there and go and hang out with their workmates or their friends. They catch up for coffee and stuff like that. You also will find people going for a jog or just exercising during their lunch break and making the most of the waterfront. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Having lived here in Wellington for almost 13 years, we definitely love the convenience of living here in this little city. It is small, but you know what? It's really easy to get around to places, especially during the week when I'm at work and I've got a doctor's appointment, if I need to go to a store to pick up a present or go to the supermarket. Everything is walkable, and that's what I really like about living here in Wellington. If you are moving here to Wellington or are planning to settle down here, and if you have no friends or family and want to make some connections, feel free to get in touch. You can message me here on YouTube or get in touch via Instagram, and my husband and I would love to help you and your family to make connections and maybe catch up even for a coffee and say hello. As I mentioned at the start, I've got other videos where I've shared about migrating and settling down here in New Zealand. Do check it out because I do know you'll find it useful. All right, I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday with a brand new video. Bye everybody.